New York Jets hop across the pond this week, hoping it goes better than it has been back at home. Won't be easy to produce better results, being they meet up with the Denver Broncos, aka the Champion Killers.
There's a whole pack of people there, and it's incomplete. And the Broncos have their signature win.
Statement made, but Orange Crush 2.0 can't stumble in London if it's going to matter. The clear mismatch would appear to be found when looking at New York's offense, stacked against that Denver D, which just shut down Philadelphia to the tune of 17 points, 2 for 11 on third down, only 2 red zone trips allowed. Only one team has cracked 24 points against them.
Oh, right in his face, they just had to unload it. That was big-time pressure.
Jets offense they draw this week only scored 22 points against a Swiss cheese Dallas defense, and their 2 TDs came in the fourth quarter when the score was 30-6. They've left work with less than 23 points in 3 of their last 4.
And he'll come this direction instead, and it's knocked down, and the Jets bogged down.
Justin Fields did at least put up a 100 rate. He's done that 3 of his 4 starts, too. 2 touchdowns last week, no picks, over 280 yards, a season high.
To throw that ball in the flat, under pressure, accurately, it's actually a sneaky, tough throw.
Fields' play just hasn't been great early in games, looking for more consistency. Finding it against Denver's secondary depends on which version shows up, the one top 10 in rating allowed, or the one that gave up over 280 yards, a 100 rate, and 2 TDs to Jalen Hurts, who had been struggling some as a passer.
Flinging it! On the run is Barkley! He's in for a touchdown!
Denver's DBs gave up over 100 yards to Devontae Smith, did hold A.J. Brown to 43, but 58 and a TD allowed to Saquon Barkley through the air. Jets running back Breece Hall was good for 42 receiving yards in their loss to Dallas.
Got it inside the 5 to Hall, who hangs on this time.
Rookie tight end Mason Taylor, 67 yards. That's 65 plus back-to-back weeks, led the team in targets last week.
There's Taylor again. He's got another first down. The tight end seen his targets rise the last couple weeks.
Get ready for some Patrick Surtain on Garrett Wilson action. Wilson, 71 yards and a TD versus the boys. A TD in 3 straight, 70-plus yards and 4 of 5.
Out of the way for Wilson. 1 dodge and leaning in. Touchdown.
That brings us to Denver's pass rush and Fields' propensity to have face to grass. He took 5 sacks versus Dallas for 45 yards, mind you, was hit a super fat 14 times.
I feel like we're back in like 2022 talking about this Cowboys pass rush.
Paired with a Denver pass rush that shared a Hurts 6er. He's so pretty. Nick Bonito with 2.5 leads the NFL with 7 now. Denver leads everyone in the bag category.
His old Oklahoma teammate, Nick Bonito, with another sack.
Broncos barely faced any Philadelphia runs, only 6 Saquon handoffs, just 30 yards, only gave up 45 rush yards for the game, only faced 2 Hurts rush attempts. Fields, 26 rush yards in that loss. Hall, with 113 on a Cartman fat 8.1 a run, he's been good for 80-plus rush yards of the last 2 weeks.
It is Hall straight up the gut, trying to break through, and he keeps his feet.
New York's offense with the tough task of trying to find a groove against a tough defense, all while hoping its own defense can somehow find a way to keep things close enough for it to matter. 37 points allowed last week. That's 5 games to start the year, giving up 27 or more. Let Dallas go 3 for 4 in the red zone.
Dak, drop it off, easy walk-in touchdown, Javonte Williams.
The secondary Bo Nix is staring at gave up 4 TD passes to Dak Prescott, right over 125, no interceptions, over 8 yards per attempt, a 114 rate allowed for the year, only 2 have given up higher.
Prescott loads up, Pickens hand fighting into the end zone, touchdown!
Nix and Denver's offense, 21 points versus Philadelphia, so-so, but it was a slow start. Nix turned it on and went for over 240 yards in their comeback win.
Back they go to Ingram, balanced and dives, touchdown, Denver!
Denver has put up 28 points twice, fewer than 22 points 3 times now. Not usually an O-line issue. Nix only 2 sacks taken a week ago. pressure rate wasn't high, and now a Jets pass rush that hits the scene off a 1-1-yard sack outing. Their DBs gave up 2 touchdowns to tight end Jake Ferguson and 49 yards, a touchdown and 57 yards to George Pickens, 114 to Ryan Flournoy.
Near side, Flournoy. Oh, what an adjustment. Flournoy inside the 20-yard line.
Nix hit 9 different guys for his yards last week, only Cortland Sutton with more than 35, Troy Franklin, Evan Ingram, Marvin Mims with 5 to 6 targets each. Sutton, 99 week 5 yards, gives him 80 plus 3 straight games.
Sutton able to get the battle won over Mitchell. What a catch.
When they keep it on the ground, they'll keep on handing to J.K. Dobbins, 79 yards and a TD in their win, 75 plus yards and 4 straight now.
Dobbins, through traffic, is in the end zone. Touchdown, Broncos.
Why not keep it rolling versus a Jets defense that gave up 135 to Javonte Williams, a 66-yarder, 8.4 per run?
They're going to run it straight ahead here. Javonte Williams. Oh, my!
Today's Broncos and Jets fans know each other well, not in the same division, yet they've hooked up 5 years in a row and 7 of the last 8 seasons. Denver took last year's clash 10-9. Lowest scoring game ever between them, only 1 OT contest since they started playing each other in 1960, 1994.
Time to buck the Bronco, let's get some, baby. Way back, has protection, throws right side, intercepted by Mo Lewis, and he has a clear shot to the end zone. Trying to go to Mose. About to commit surgery.
Dr. Boomer did his operating with a surgical strike to put the Jets on top. But the Broncos would fight back again and send the game to overtime. In the extra period, Esiason hit Art Monk over the middle, setting up Nick Lowry for a shot at the 12th game-winning field goal of his career.
The kick is gone! The Jets win!
The San Francisco 49ers, a.k.a. the James Bonds of the NFL, head east this week. Sean Connery, Roger Moore, Daniel Craig, cast the starring roles however you want. They still find a way to get the girl and take out the bad guy.
On the ground, does he make it? It doesn't look like it. The 49ers think they have stopped him short. They're already on the field. They're already celebrating. What an ending.
They are in Tampa Bay, Bucks back home following a huge epic road win in the Northwest. This is a team no longer just happy to be here.
39-yard field goal for McLaughlin to win it. Got it! And Tampa Bay will win it on a walk-off 39-yard field goal.
Chase McLaughlin's got your flu game right here, Mike. 4-1 versus 4-1. Anyone have Sunday Night Football's number? Can we text them? Who doesn't want to see Baker Mayfield do his thing at this point? I mean, if going 29 for 33, 379 yards, 2 TDs, no picks, 11.5 yards per attempt, and a 134 rate doesn't do it for you.
Touchdown! What a strike!
Well, you're not going to see a much more perfect throw than what Mayfield just delivered there.
How about the continued late game heroics? That Severance character used to do those commercials. He'd tell you, Baker, he's pretty clutch, pretty clutch.
Flying time into the end zone, caught! Touchdown! Touchdown!
And now Mayfield draws a secondary that gave up over 385 yards to Matthew Stafford. 3 touchdowns didn't pick him off, a 111 rate allowed. They've now given up a rate over 100 on the year.
Going deep downfield, and it's Atwell who makes the catch.
49ers defense did at least play well enough situationally last week to salvage the game, just playing with fire when you bank on those moments to beat teams, but they'll take them when they get them.
And the call is a fumble in San Francisco ball. That is unbelievable.
It's going to be tough to contain Tampa's offense. 38 points last week, 7 for 11 on third down, 4 for 6 in the red zone. They've put up 25 plus points in 3 straight.
He's looking for blocking and he gets it right there and steamrolling his way in. Touchdown! touchdown, Rachaad White.
San Francisco secondary Baker is eyeing, gave up 88 yards to Devontae Adams, 85 to Puka Nacua, 72 to Tutu Atwell, so struggled against wideouts. Emeka Egbuka is a wideout last I checked, went for 163 yards and a touchdown versus Seattle, 5 TDs on the year, back-to-back 100-yard games. Seems like he might stick.
Mayfield deep, and he's got Egbuka! He's got him! Caught inside the 5!
7 Buccaneers hit this game off 3+ catch games. Chris Godwin, Sterling Shepard, 24 to 26 yards each a week ago. Tez Johnson, he's Bo Nix's brother. If you watched him at Oregon the last couple of years, you heard that every single week, roughly 4 times a game. 59 yards on 4 catches.
Caught him downfield! That's a great catch by Tez Johnson. 27-yard strike and a first down.
He lived with his family in high school, to be precise. Cade Otton mobs in off his best 2025 showing, 81 yards, high was 25 prior.
And here comes Mayfield. He's wide open downfield. He's got his receiver. And that's the tight end, Cade Otton.
And Rachaad White, filling in for Tez's Eugene teammate Bucky Irving, 4 catches, 30 yards, 41 rushing, 2 scores.
Outside Blackworth, that's a touchdown. White.
Only 2.9 a carry, so not as explosive as Bucky typically is. Not that he can't be, though. Niners gave up 4.9 a carry to LA's rush attack, over 4.5 per run to Kyren Williams.
Kyren Williams, lots of space. First down, a lot more.
Only 78 yards rushing allowed overall to LA, so they weren't hurt by it, especially being they held him in check on the 2 most important runs of that game. Their Bosa-less front still lacking pass rushing teeth, though. Stafford threw 47 times. They only hit him twice. Just 1 sack, which is all they've come up with in their last 2 games.
You know, normally when you have that much time, it's going to be offensive holding. He had all that time. There was no offensive penalty.
Mayfield threw 33 times, only sacked once for 9 yards. He only got hit twice, which could play a role in another shootout then. BCB or Little Mac. Is there a difference? Does it matter? Jones filled in for Brock Purdy last week and not only beats LA on the road, does so throwing for over 340 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, a rate over 100. That's 275 plus yards in each of his 3 starts. They simply don't stop throwing just because he's taking snaps.
Throw along the sideline, hold in.
Look at that throw over top of the safety curl.
And why would you stop throwing against Tampa Bay's beat-up secondary? Sam Darnold hung 340 on them along with 4 touchdowns, 10 yards per attempt, a 135 rate. They came up with the key pick, a pass that bounced off a lineman's helmet. They were happy to win it, but they were not happy with how they played on defense.
With a line drive, caught, touchdown!
In turn, 49ers O gets a D that gave up 35 points. Seattle went 6 for 9 on 3rd down, 4 for 4 in the red zone, 27 plus points allowed, 3 straight games.
Darnold, here comes Diaby, and downfield, caught, touchdown!
Against an offense that went for 26 points, needing OT to do it, it was more than their season average of 21.
And through, he doinks one for the lead.
Oh, a game of inches.
Jones had to take plenty of punches. Did see Kyle Shanahan on the sideline last week, going to town on the controller a few times. AB. Phew, he got back up. Only 1 sack taken on a ginormous 49 pass attempts. Team has only allowed 7 sacks all year, but he was hit 12 times too.
There's a hit again. It's not just a hit, it's how he lands.
Tampa's pass rush didn't want to dirty Darnold's cool throwback jersey, so they didn't sack him. Only hit him twice. He gave him 34 shots, too.
Quick slant down to the 25.
Their secondary, missing 2 starters, struggled without help up front, gave up 35 plus yards to 5 guys, 53 to tight end A.J. Barner, 59 to Cooper Kupp, and a whopping 132 to Jackson Smith and Jigba. Niners were missing George Kittle, Ricky Pearsall, Jawan Jennings, Brandon Ayuk, and it didn't matter one bit. Kendrick Bourne blazes in off a 10-catch, 142-yard showing.
Jones hangs in there, throws, that's caught by Kendrick Bourne. He's inside the 4. Bourne down the sideline.
Demarcus Robinson chipped in 39 yards. Tight end Jake Tonjes still doing a nice Kittle impersonation. 41 yards and a TD, scored back-to-back games.
Short drop over the middle, wide open. Touchdown. The tight end Tonjes into the end zone.
And CMC, with his third straight game with 80 or more receiving yards, scored through the air again.
And the pass is caught by McCaffrey for the touchdown.
Christian McCaffrey has been everywhere tonight, as we expected.
McCaffrey still waiting for a big game along the ground. 57 rush yards in LA, only 2.6 a carry, so now under 3.2 per attempt in 4 of their 5 games.
And McCaffrey's going to get knocked down and stuffed in the backfield.
Well, maybe he finds room versus Tampa's front that let Kenneth Walker go for 8.6 a carry, 86 yards, gave up a touchdown and 36 yards to Zach Charbonnet, too.
And it's Charbonnet on 1st and goal. Touchdown!
Niners have taken 4 straight versus the Bucs. This will be the 4th year in a row they've met, too. They're going to be hard-pressed to replicate the beauty they put together in 1978, though.
As well, Hardman's kamikaze-like playing style forces quarterbacks out of the pocket, sealing their fate. He acquired the savvy to split secondary coverage.
Pittsburgh Steelers are at home for Week 6, spent Week 5 facing a bye after coming back from their European vacation, went better than Clark's as they sit at 3-1. Cleveland didn't get a breather after seeing Big Ben. Browns roll in with a new look and feel, though, even if last week's scoreboard sort of looked and felt the same as usual.
2nd and 5. Addison, he's got it! Touchdown! With 25 seconds remaining, the Vikings now lead by 4.
Browns with another good defensive showing. Offense still unable to score more than 17 points, but there's hope. Dylan Gabriel has a nice debut he'll try and build off of, and Quinshon Judkins, he deserves to lead the way in this convo after going for 110 on the ground, 4.8 a carry, 82 plus yards in 3 straight, 4.8 or better in 3 of his 4 games, looks legit.
Every game you can tell he's getting more and more comfortable.
Judkins now gets a Steelers rush defense that's held his position to a respectable 4 yards per carry. Funny, if the ball on average were spotted 6 inches ahead, we'd tell you they were playing the run poorly. Game of inches, I guess.
Toss, Mason hit in the backfield, lost a few yards.
As to the other rookie Pittsburgh faces, Gabriel, not too shabby versus Minnesota. 2 touchdowns, no picks in his first ever start, mid-90s rate.
What a shot, man. That was a bullet by Dylan Gabriel. Nice throw by him.
Only 190 yards through the air, though, under 6 yards per attempt, lots of short, quick passes, and their offense only 3 for 9 on 3rd down. They left their 5th straight game under 18 points.
We're down at 7 for Gabriel on the Browns. This pass sails out of bounds in the vicinity of Isaiah Bond.
Gabriel's quick draw was by design. Didn't want to put him in harm's way too often against a blitz-happy Vikes defense. Took a couple of sacks on 33 pass attempts.
Gabriel on 3rd down, under pressure, stays on his feet, and now Ivan Pace takes him down.
But what changes this week when he has to worry about TJ Watt and a Steelers defense that's also fond of sending an extra body? Pittsburgh had the 2nd most sacks after 4 weeks, one of the highest pressure rates in the game, fueled by one of the highest blitz rates. Watt leads their pass rush with 3 sacks.
And gets drilled again. He had no chance. Watt and Benton.
Gordon Ramsay can't be happy with the fact all the work they're doing to heat up the kitchen isn't being served up correctly. Play against the pass uneven so far. Not many teams have given up over 260 yards per game, a 96 rate allowed overall.
Well done. Wentz to Jefferson, beating the blitz for 17.
Steelers defense over 4 games has been the tale of 2 halves. First 2 games giving up over 30 points, then 2 games under 22, 7 takeaways in those last 2.
And then this is picked off. TJ Watt As electric of a big play guy as there is on defense in the NFL.
Only one Browns pass catcher with 40-plus yards in London. David Njoku, most targets, 6 catches, 67 yards and a TD, his best showing this year.
What a catch.
And the catch is made by Njoku.
What a catch and what a throw.
When the black and gold have the ball, the Aaron Rodgers experiment has worked just well enough. Browns D looking at a dude walking in with 8 TDs against 3 INTs, a rate over 100. Steelers offense averaging a healthy 24 points per game.
Into the end zone. 80-yard touchdown. Rodgers to Metcalf.
Dog pound DBs also get a guy averaging less than 200 yards per game, is getting rid of the ball as quick as anyone after the ball is snapped. Only a few teams with fewer yards per game, not great at moving the sticks.
And it's Jonnu Smith losing 2 yards, and it's an ugly first drive for the Steelers.
The Cleveland defense they're trying to up their game against walks in off another tiring shift, held Minnesota to 21 points, 3 for on third down, took the ball away twice. Little help, fellas. Still rank at the top in yards per game allowed.
Wentz pulls it in and is taken down. Malik Collins.
Rodgers isn't facing a lockdown secondary, though. Gave up over 230 yards to Carson Wentz, 100-plus rating. 1 touchdown didn't pick him off. Rate allowed for the year at 104 now. Only a few teams have given up higher.
Wentz. Jefferson, he's got it!
Right behind Grant Delpit.
Last week, Cleveland's DBs gave up 123 yards to Justin Jefferson, 41 and a TD to Jordan Addison, 73 and a TD to their tight ends. But who else other than DK do Cleveland's corners have to worry about this week? Calvin Austin, out hurt, was only averaging 34 yards per game. Metcalf, 65 a game, leads them in all receiving categories as he's kind of been the only option Rodgers leans on.
Up top he goes for DK Metcalf.
Calling wide receiver Roman Wilson then maybe, or either of their tight ends, Pat Freiermuth, Jonnu Smith, both with fewer than 100 yards for the year. Watch for Myles Garrett to go after Pittsburgh tackle Broderick Jones. Jones has given up 4.5 of the 9 sacks Aaron has taken.
Rodgers gets thrown down.
Garrett wasn't able to sack Wentz. He did get him a yard away from one on a big play. Browns pass rush, good for 3 sacks. Malik Collins with a pair.
There it is. And now Wentz goes down. Malik Collins.
Pittsburgh's second most productive pass catcher thus far has been running back Jaylen Warren, who's put up 47 receiving yards per game, along with 44 per game on the ground.
Give it. Warren turns it upfield and he's banged down.
Browns front has him and Kenneth Gainwell to try and stop. Gainwell 4.4 a carry after a nice showing when he was last in action.
Here's Gainwell, left side, and in for his second touchdown.
Cleveland hasn't been easy to run on. 97 yards, 4.2 a run a week ago, held Minnesota's primary back Jordan Mason to 4 per.
Look how quickly that defense just flies to the football. Mason had no chance.
These two have been going at it for a while, obviously, but we gotta relive a little of that 1978 classic. 15-9 in OT.
Here is Bradshaw giving the ball to Blyer. Blyer reverses it to Swan. He gives it back to Bradshaw. Bradshaw fired for Cunningham. A Pittsburgh touchdown. How about that? A Pittsburgh touchdown to win the ball game.
They have a great desire to go back to the Super Bowl. Very hungry bunch of football players. And when you get great, talented men and assemble them together that have a goal in mind that they want to be the world champions again, I don't know what's going to stop them.
Las Vegas Raiders hit Week 6 with their backs to the wall. I believe when you're on the brink on the Strip, you have to go all in and hope your luck finally changes on the river. Tennessee is in town. They know a little something about luck. Titans the luckiest winners of a football game anyone has ever seen.
Off to the races! 20-10 touchdown! Just a stunning turn of events. What looked to be a 72-yard touchdown run has been overturned.
So, all Tennessee had to do to finally win a game, have a guy drop the ball early on a 71-yard TD with his team up 21-6 in the fourth quarter, then follow that with your quarterback being picked off for a game-sealing interception, only to have that guy fumble, the ball ending up in the end zone where you recover it.
It's deflected and picked, and then the football came out. Who recovers? Tennessee for the touchdown in a crazy sequence.
Before adding the finishing touches with your rookie quarterback dropping a few dimes on the final drive of the game, setting up the game-winning walk-off field goal.
A 29-yarder for the win here in Glendale. The kick from Sly is good, and the Tennessee Titans end their 10-game losing streak.
That's all it takes to make up for having the worst offense in the game, so just do that again and run that win streak to 2 in a row, cool? Cam Ward would love to pick up where he left off at least, hits Vegas off a career-best 265 yards.
On a perfectly thrown pass from Ward. Boy, just when he needed a money play.
Still, a lot of room for growth, no touchdowns, he got picked off, sub-85 rate, under 7 yards per attempt, still looking for that true breakout game, but maybe a Raiders defense that just gave up a 40-burger is the team to do it against. Vegas let Indy go 8 for 10 on third down, 6 for 6 in the red zone, gave up 2 touchdowns to Daniel Jones, no interceptions, rate over 110.
Diving in the end zone, touchdown Colts!
Even with Max Crosby, Ward gets a Vegas team off a 0-sack game, had 32 chances too, only 3 QB hits. Cam, dropped twice by Arizona, has taken at least 2 every game.
On 4th and 10, here they come, free blitzer, and Ward never had a chance.
Silver and Black's DBs allowed 2 wide receivers to finish with 50-plus yards. Now they get Calvin Ridley off a 131-yard game, his best showing of 2025.
Ward slinging it far side of the field, and he locates Ridley.
Tight end Chigo Okonkwo also chipped in with 48 yards. He was the only other Titans pass catcher with 35-plus yards.
As Okonkwo gets downhill, first down connection, they pick up 16.
Titans ground game, still a Tony Pollard production, lost a fumble last week, but scored 67 yards, a nice 4.8 a run, 4.6 or better, 3 of his last 4 now, 60-plus yards in 4 of 5 games.
And he is in for the Titans touchdown.
He's drawing a defense that gave up 4 rushing TDs, but the Raiders held Jonathan Taylor to 66 yards, 3.9 a carry, held Indy to less than 100 yards, just 3.8 a carry.
Max Crosby, he doesn't just sack quarterbacks, he tackles people for losses.
Las Vegas's poor showing numbers-wise on defense last week, very much a reflection of their offense and quarterback again. Geno Smith, the NFL INT leader, added 2 more to his collection versus the Colts, sub-65 rate, under 6.5 yards per attempt, 2+ INTs in 3 of his last 4.
Pass, 2 Colts, and it's intercepted. A takeaway for Indianapolis.
Raiders O-face Tennessee's defense is staring at an embarrassing 6-point showing last week, 0 for 4 in the red zone. They're averaging a lowly 16 points per game.
He's wide open. Now, this is a big gain, potentially even a first down if you just try to put it on him.
Well, Tennessee's defense is giving up 27 a game after holding Arizona to 21. First time they've held a team under 22 since week 1. The secondary Geno tries to get right against, holding Kyler Murray to 220 yards, no touchdowns. They sacked him 3 times.
The Cardinals from their field goal range before that happened.
Jeffrey Simmons had a sack and a half and could keep shopping. Smith was bagged 4 times by Indy.
Geno Smith. Pressure coming in. He is sacked around the 15-yard line.
Will Brock Bowers be back? He missed last week. 2 guys with 37-plus yards. Trey Tucker, 62.
Tucker is open. Tucker with all that speed. Fastest Raider.
Ashton Genty with 42. 67 rush yards, 4.8 a carry. Starting to wake up, that's back-to-back 4.8 or better games.
Need to get to the 35 for the first down, and Ashton Genty does that.
Tennessee gave up that 7 71-yard run, as you saw, worked out great, but it pushed their average versus running backs to 5.2 per attempt, faced 18 Michael Carter runs, held him to 2.8 a run.
Michael Carter, I don't think he got it.
Vegas, Tennessee, Titans have won the last 2 meetings, Raiders up by 8 in the series, 4 playoff games over the years, Raiders won all 4, scoring 41, 27, 40, and 56. The 50-burger cooked up in 1969.
LaMonica to Biletnikoff, make it 7-0 early. And the Raiders have overcome every obstacle. All that remains, the Super Bowl and the World Championship.
Seattle Seahawks head east this week after coming up just short in maybe the game of the year. Another big showdown as they are visiting the 4-1 Jacksonville Jaguars, who waited for the perfect moment to run their Spicoli stumbles out of the van play.
Lawrence goes down, has to get up, breaks a tackle, touchdown Jacksonville!
May have just witnessed Trevor Lawrence's coming out party later than expected, but Jeff was always late to class, so it fits. Lawrence heads into Week 6 off his best 2025 showing, did what he needed in big moments with his legs, didn't light up the skies, but put up his best rate game of the year.
End zone, touchdown! That was a good throw from Trevor Lawrence.
It was maybe his best throw.
Jacksonville's offense, 24 of their 31 points last week, fits their body of work so far. They were better on third down and in the red zone than they had been in previous weeks.
Lawrence steps through, wants to go, touchdown Jaguars!
Playing a Florida team with a Liam Cohen quarterback didn't go so well for the Seahawks defense last week, so maybe they keep it rolling. Hawks gave up a season-high 38 points to Tampa Bay, 7 for 11 on third down, 4 for 6 in the red zone, roughest outing they've endured in 2025.
Winds up, throws right on the money. Mayfield with a touchdown throw.
How they rebound depends on who they have. They started last week without Spoon, Julian Love, and DeMarcus Lawrence, ended the game without Reek Woolen and Derek Hall, ended the game getting torched by Baker Mayfield, who they gave up a 134 rate to, 370 yards on 11.5 yards per attempt, 2 TDs, no INTs.
Mayfield deep, and he's got Ibuka! He's got him! Caught inside the 5!
Mayfield threw 33 times. They only sacked him once, only hit him twice, partially a personnel issue. Lawrence dropped 3 times in their win on just 25 pass attempts, most sacks he's taken this year.
He just has not been able to sit in the pocket and deliver the football the way he would like.
Seattle's DBs ended up surrendering 81 yards to tight end Cade Otton, 59 yards to rookie wide receiver Tez Johnson, and 163 and a TD to rookie Emeka Ibuka. If it's a first-year guy thing, Travis Hunter could build off his best game of his career, 64 yards versus Kansas City, complete with a highlight reel catch.
Lawrence is able to float it, and Hunter makes the catch!
The real concern for Seattle's corners, Brian Thomas, season-high 80 yards for him in their win, huge catch in crunch time.
For Thomas, oh, he dropped it in! Catch is made!
The one thing the Hawks defense did well in that track meet was play the run well. Held Baker to 15 rush yards, held Rashad White to 2.9 a carry, just 41 yards.
Handoff goes to White. Mel and Maffei brings him down.
Next up, Lawrence and Travis Etienne. The machine was good for 49 yards on 4.1 a carry. Lawrence led the way with 2 rushing TDs, a season-high 54 rush yards. Previous high was 12.
That's the second time now he's taken off scrambling on this drive and made some key first downs.
Keep an eye on all those injured guys for Seattle, and don't look away when Seattle has the ball. Jacksonville's defense gets another big test facing Sam Darnold. 4 TD passes versus Tampa Bay, 28 of 34 passing, 341 yards, a 135 rate, 110-plus rate games, 3 straight now.
Caught at the 3, touchdown, 7 consecutive touchdowns scored.
Jags taking on the 5th highest scoring offense after 5 weeks, 35 points last week, 6 for 9 on third down, 4 for 4 in the red zone, top 10 inside the 20 for the year, and moving the sticks.
Darnold again, caught right by McCollum, has the first.
So we have a top 5 offense doing battle with a top 10 defense, though Jacksonville's D doesn't enter off a top 10 showing per se. Gave up 28 points, let Kansas City convert 4 of 5 red zone trips.
Here comes Kareem Hunt. It's one-on-one. He just blows right through him for the touchdown.
They gave up over 300 yards to Patrick Mahomes, but you can make the case they were only on the hook for 21 points, being their one interception of Mahomes was a 99-yard house call. Darnold facing the team with the second lowest rate allowed this year.
Picked off! Devin Lloyd still rolling down the sideline.
Did give up 61 yards and a touchdown to Travis Kelce. 3 receivers got him for 40-plus yards, 90 given up to Tyquan Thornton. Now they gear up to try and deal with Jackson Smith and Jigba. Hasn't left work without at least 79 yards. Clocked out last week with 132 plus a touchdown, 95-plus yards, and 4 of 5 so far.
With a line drive, caught, touchdown, Jackson Smith and Jigba.
They have Cooper Kupp to chase, 59 yards versus Tampa.
Into Buccaneer territory. What a grab by Cooper Kupp.
Can't overlook Torrey Horton, has scored in 3 of their last 4.
And downfield, caught, touchdown, Torrey Horton.
And so has A.J. Barner. The tight end made 2 trips to Bob Rossland last week, 53 yards.
End zone caught, back, touchdown. A.J. Barner's got it.
And check out the pass rush matchup. Jacksonville didn't sack Mahomes a single time on 41 attempts. Darnold didn't take a sack on 34 pass attempts.
But you talked about the offensive line. So far, no sacks today.
Nope.
Here's another lopsided matchup based on Week 5, a Jags defense that gave up over 150 rush yards on 7+ a carry, 3 touchdowns.
Here's Hunt able to break loose and out of bounds after a big gain.
Taking on Kenneth Walker, who went for 8.6 a carry on his 10 attempts, 80+ yards, 3 of his last 4 games.
And Walker finds a hole. There he goes into the secondary.
Zach Charbonnet, 36 yards, 4 per carry, a touchdown. He's scored in 3 of their last 4. Only 9 games between Jacksonville and Seattle. Hawks up 6-3. They got it started in 1995 and put on quite a show.
Galloway's finest performance came at Jacksonville, where he hauled in 2 touchdown receptions, then broke off the NFL's longest and most spectacular run from scrimmage in 1995.
Meyer turns and gives on the end around to Galloway. He's back at the 5. Galloway trying to get to the corner. Does at the 15. Galloway refreshing his field once again. He's got some room. 20, 25, 30. Galloway they go.
The 89-yarder was part of a season high for rushing yardage as Seattle rolled over the Jaguars. In 95, only the Cowboys and Chiefs ran the ball better than the Seahawks.
Carolina Panthers at home, now in the you better not overlook us category after collecting win number 2 in dramatic fashion.
So that gives Carolina a first down and they can get into victory formation.
They're trying to get back to the 500 mark, which would mean a little something 6 games in. Have to beat a Cowboys club looking to make it over the 500 mark after trashing the Jets.
Complete dominating performance really in all areas.
No CD, no Cavante Turpin, missing 2 Tylers on the O-line, no problem. Dak Prescott comes in off an Al Bundy Polk high showing, 4 TDs, no INTs, rate over 125, 120 plus rate back-to-back games, 7 touchdowns over his last 2.
I'm not sure there's a quarterback in the league that's playing better ball than Dak Prescott.
Cowboys offense, 37 points last week, so Carolina's D trying to slow an O that's been good for 37 plus points 3 of their last 4 games.
This offense is so many light years ahead of what McCarthy was doing in the first part of last year.
Can Dak and company keep it humming? Panthers gave up 24 points in their win. They've allowed 24 or more in all but 1 game in 2025.
Touchdown! Well, that was easy.
The Carolina secondary he tries to stay hot against gave up 3 TDs to Tua, didn't pick him off once, a 120-plus rate allowed, over 250 yards surrendered.
Throws back right corner of the end zone for a touchdown.
They had not been that generous to other quarterbacks as they have a sub-90 rate over their 5 games, but also hadn't gotten to a QB 3 times in a game until last week. Actually, they didn't even have 3 sacks for the year combined, so it was a breakout performance.
Down goes Tagovailoa!
Going to be hard-pressed to repeat the feat based on Dak only taking 1 sack versus New York for 1 yard. He only took 1 sack the week before, too.
We knew the offense was good. For them to continue to play at that level with 4 offensive line starters out, I can't stress how hard that is in the NFL.
Don't get to Dak, he could try some more flour. Wait, Flournoy, sorry. Ryan with a career-high 114 yards versus the Jets.
And Flournoy, he's had himself a game.
There's George Pickens, a TD and 57 yards last week. He's painted it blue 5 times, at least once in 4 straight games.
Dak just said, I'm going to throw it down and let you make a play, and George Pickens did exactly that.
And tight end Jake Ferguson comes in off a 2-score, 49-yard game, back-to-back weeks with a trip to the paint.
Ferguson to the end zone again, touchdown!
Panthers secondary gave up TD tight end Darren Waller in their win, 78 yards too, 110 yards and a TD to Jalen Waddle. But they do hit week 6 after a strong game against the run, held Devon Achane to 16 yards, just 1.6 a try.
You're not going to have effective runs in the middle of this Carolina defense.
They now have to try and cool off a Dallas rush attack. Also on the Caliente side, Javonte Williams motors in off a 135-yard, 8.4 per run, 1-score game, broke a 66-yarder, 75 yards in 4 straight, 4.3 or better in each.
Javonte Williams, where did you come from?
He, though, isn't the hottest running back in this game. The guy he replaced is, call it the Rico revenge game. Dowdle got the start in place of Chuba Hubbard. How about 200 plus on the ground, 9 yards per carry, scored, snapped a 53-yarder.
What an afternoon for Rico Dowdle!
And now he goes after a Dallas defense that gave up 113 on 8.1 a carry to Breece Hall last week.
And that's poor tackling as opposed to great running in my mind.
Dowdle propelled Carolina's offense to 27 points, only the second time they've surpassed 22.
And the Panthers take the lead!
Cowboys defense getting a Bryce Young feeling confident after he came through on their last drive, threw 2 touchdown passes for the game, 90.7 rate, not great, but the highest he's had so far.
Wow, what a throw by Bryce Young out of the pocket.
Under 7 yards per attempt, under 200 yards, and did throw a pick, but it's all relative with him and them. And hey, Cowboys secondary gave up over 280 yards to Justin Fields, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, plus 100 rate, which they are second to last in at this point.
But the way they've played pass defense this year, they cannot get into a position where the other team's just dropping back and throwing it.
Scooter Magruder is yelling, it was when Oscar the Grouch was on the field, which is true. And their pass rush barrels in off a 5-sack game that sent New York's offense backwards 49 yards.
If you want your sacks, today's the day to get them.
Young was hit 8 times by Miami, planted 3 times.
Down he goes!
Less than 2 sacks taken per game so far, so usually his protection has been solid. Panthers pass catchers, only one with more than 31 yards in last week's win. Xavier Legette had a touchdown and 31 yards. T-Mac continues to be the one guy opposing secondaries have to worry about. McMillan 4 more targets than anyone else versus the Finns, 73 yards.
This kid has just got talent oozing from his pores.
This is the 3rd year in a row Panthers and Cowboys have played each other. Dallas has won 3 in a row. New Orleans is at home this week, and you can go ahead and add the S back to their name. They ain't a winless team no more.
Nowhere to go, throws incomplete, and that should do it from New Orleans.
Making it 2 in a row will be a challenge with New England in town. The Patriots may have just shown they've officially arrived.
And the Patriots take the lead with 15 seconds remaining.
Guess that means they've re-arrived. I think they were here before. But now folks are wondering just how good might they be beating the 4-0 Bills juggernaut on their turf. And did you see this Drake May kid? One of the most impressive 0 TD games you'll ever see. Over 270 yards, no interceptions, a 101 rate, over 9 yards per attempt, dimes and dots all night. And his pass right before the 2-minute warning in the 4th, akin to Clark Griswold's Christmas lighting after the lights came on.
He is in a stiff arm battle, and not only did he get the ball off, he got it complete.
A real beaut, Drake. It was a real beaut. Led to a respectable 23-point night. That's 23 plus points in 3 of their last 4.
Patriots looking for the lead. Ramondre Stevenson pounds it into the end zone.
Pat's defense helped quite a bit too. They'd like to do better than 3 for 9 on 3rd down. Whether they do depends on if their offense is more like San Francisco's, Seattle's, and Buffalo's, who New Orleans defense gave up 26 or more points to, or more like Arizona's and New York's, who they held under 21 after keeping the Giants to 14 last week, 3 for 10 on 3rd down, sealed the game with a fumble recovery touchdown, one of 5 takeaways they came up with.
Odin going the other way! That's the 3rd turnover of the game for the Giants.
That showing brought their season average down to 27 points per game. The secondary May faces just came up with 2 Jackson Dart passes, held him to 5.1 per attempt, a sub-75 rate, only 202 yards.
Dart intercepted again! Kool-Aid has his 2nd.
And that brought their season rating down to 106. Only sacked Dart once for 3 yards, 40 pass attempts. May threw 30 times. He took 4 sacks.
May taking off here. He is tied up and brought down.
May only lost 6 yards, so minimized the damage. Even under duress, he still helped Stephon Diggs deliver the perfect revenge game. 146 yards, had that fire you sort of thought Buffalo might be missing. Back-to-back C-note outings for Diggs.
The moxie, the energy, the want to. I'm ready. I waited all week for it.
We know Stephon Diggs' booty, and so does Drake. And so does May. Who doesn't, I guess? Kayshawn chipped in 43 yards in that win.
Firing sideline. It's caught. And it's Kayshawn Booty bringing it in.
Hunter Henry with 46. He's been relevant in 4 of their 5 matches.
Durchin firing down the middle. Hung on to. That is Hunter Henry.
New Orleans DBs did give up 52 yards to tight end Daniel Bellinger and 2 touchdowns to tight end Theo Johnson. Nothing major to wideouts, but 45 to running back Cam Skattebo, though they held him as a runner to 3.9 a carry.
Skattebo running, and can he get there? He's going to be about a yard shy.
They had problems with Dart's legs though, 55 rush yards, 7.9 per run. May can run, didn't versus Buffalo much. Their rush attack only good for 71 yards on 3.2 per attempt. Ramondre Stevenson scored a couple times, but also lost another fumble, his 3rd this year.
Stevenson with the catch, and he loses the ball. A man has had a lot of fumbling problems.
Again, that Saints defense recovered 3 fumbles last week too. New Orleans offense, on the other hand, didn't turn it over once in their win. Spencer Rattler's on the board, 1-10 in his career now. TD, no interceptions, 100 rate, his second game this year with a triple-digit rating.
Rattler has another completion and another first down.
225 yards was his season high, and 87 of them came on one pass. And New Orleans offense was only able to put up 19 points, 7 gifted by the defense, as we mentioned. 0 for 3 in the red zone. It's an offense that has yet to put up 22 points.
Over the middle, it's dropped. Kamara took his eye off it.
Patriots defense isn't easy to score on either. Held the Bills, who were good for 30-plus each game, to 20 points. Took the ball away 3 times, have now held their opponents under 22, 4 of 5 games.
Oh, mishandle there, and that's Patriots ball.
This is borderline unbelievable, the start to this game.
New England's secondary Rattler squares off with, picked off Josh Allen once, also gave up over 250 yards to him, 2 TDs, and a plus 100 rate. They reside in the bottom third of all key passing categories after 5 weeks.
Allen fires end zone, Coleman touchdown.
Tight end gave them the most trouble last week, gave up over 100 yards to Dalton Kincaid. No wide receiver with 50-plus. It was a wideout who hauled in Rattler's bomb, 87-yarder as part of a 114-yard afternoon for Rashid Shaheed.
Down the field, Shaheed's got great speed. He's got him. Shaheed down the sideline.
Rattlers go-to, Chris Olave, who saw 11 targets, caught 7 for 59 yards, 54 to 59 yards now, and 4 of 5.
Rattler gets rid of it quickly. Olave's got some space. Olave down the sideline.
Alvin Kamara usually sees his fair share of passes. 4 catches, only 28 yards, only 27 rush yards on just 3.4 a run. Kendre Miller led the team in attempts and yards with 41.
Miller again, and Kendre Miller is still going. 11-yard run.
New England just got done holding the previously hot James Cook to 49 yards on 3.3 per try, gave up 53 yards to Allen, 5.9 a carry. Pats Saints 10-6 in favor of New England, who won the first 5 meetings between the two. None as fine as their 1983 showdown, though.
The season's final home game found the playoff-hungry New Orleans Saints in Foxborough for a game which was unforgettable right from the opening kickoff to ace return man Ricky Smith.
The 45-50, all the way down the right sideline, still on the run, going down by the 20, the 10, and he circles.
Some of the more astute observers of the pro football scene were at times reminded of moments in New England's recent history.
To Collins wide to the left side, and he punches it in.
The Patriots recorded their second shutout and closed out their home schedule, having won 5 of their 8 home games.
Arizona Cardinals fans, this is a safe space. No need to show either play again. If that was my team, I know I wouldn't want to see them again. A loss is a loss no matter how it goes down, right? But some wins seem different, like Indy's last week.
And there he goes, Jonathan Taylor, his 3rd touchdown today.
Think Amari and Adonai will meet at midfield before the game? That's not the point. Cardinals defense get ready for the second highest scoring offense in the game. The Colts stampeded through yet another foe, cooked up a 40-burger versus Vegas. How about 8 for 10 on 3rd down, 6 for 6 in the red zone?
Diving in the end zone, touchdown Colts!
Indiana Jones got back on the horse after his first dud, a 113 rate, 4 of those games in 5 tries now, 2 touchdowns, no INTs, over 8.5 yards per attempt, been good for 8.5 or better in 4 of 5. Daniel has been dropping more dimes than ever.
Is in for a Colts touchdown.
The Arizona defense he faces held Tennessee to 22 points, holding teams to 19 per game, 6th lowest. They didn't fall apart even if they played a role in that miracle swing. Picked off Cam Ward once, no TDs allowed, held him to a sub-65 rate. They're sitting on the 6th lowest rate allowed, top 10 in completion percentage allowed, and yards per attempt allowed.
Ward on 3rd and 10, batted down and incomplete.
Did give up 265 yards to Ward and let him connect on some key throws late. Gave up 131 yards to Calvin Ridley. Jones only threw for 212 yards in their win, 39 and a TD to Michael Pittman. He's on a 3-game scoring streak.
Touchdown Colts! Michael Pittman!
Tight end Tyler Warren, 44 yards and a TD. The rookie has made an above-average impact 4 of his 5 games.
Tyler Warren is in for a Colts touchdown.
Josh Downs saw the most Week 5 targets, converted them to 54 yards.
Downs spins near the first down.
And Ashton Doolin led the team in yards with 55.
Inside the 10-yard line is Ashton Doolin.
Jones didn't take a sack, second time he's escaped clean in their last 3, has only taken 4 sacks all year.
Comes out throwing, and that's Tyler Warren.
Josh Sweat, the biggest threat this week, had both Arizona sacks last week. That's 4 straight games with a bag.
Here they come, free blitzer, and Ward never had a chance.
Cardinals front versus the run gave up 4.8 yards per carry to Tony Pollard, 67 yards and a TD. Also got him on a fumble, and for the year, they're holding ball carriers to 3.9 a carry.
She'll signal, and now they say Cardinals football.
Get JT next. Jonathan Taylor, TD hat trick versus Vegas.
Jonathan Taylor, he's got 1 touchdown today, he's got 2!
Grinded for his 66 yards, leads the NFL in rushing yards and TDs, didn't drop any balls on the way to the end zone. He saw it happen in Week 4, so he knows it can limit an offense like it did Arizona's, who only scratched together 21 points versus a Tennessee defense that had been handing them out like candy corn on Halloween. Cardinals can't afford to turn the ball over 3 times again, no matter how they turn it over. Wait, no, their offense only turned it over twice. Either way, Indy's defense draws an offense that hasn't scored 22 in 4 or 5 games.
Football is loose, live ball, and Tennessee has it.
So we have an offense struggling to put up points versus a defense that held it down to 6 points a week ago. That's twice the Colts have held a team to single digits, 3rd time under 21 points, picked off Geno Smith twice, no TDs, sub 65 rate, now have the 9th lowest rate in the NFL.
Batted in the air and intercepted by the Colts.
Now they go after Kyler Murray, 220 yards versus Tennessee, no touchdowns, 220 matching his season high.
Back shoulder throw by Murray, they ring him up for 20.
Murray only has 1 triple-digit rating game so far. He got buried 3 times in their latest loss, 3+ sacks taken back-to-back weeks.
Murray buried.
Indy's pass rush got to Smith 4 times, dropped him for 38 yards too, 14 QB takedowns on the season.
Geno Smith is on the run and sacked.
Their secondary gave up 228 yards to Smith, only 2 Raiders with more than 40 receiving yards. Trey Tucker got him for 62. Marvin Harrison is concern number 1 this week, 98 yards last week, a season high.
Right back to the well, it's Harrison.
Trey McBride good for 41 week 5 yards.
Trey McBride the catch. It's a pickup of 11.
Ground game, Michael Carter, the lead back, 18 tries, 51 yards. He scored 1 of 3 rushing TDs for them. In the box score, they went for 168 rush yards on a nice 5.8 per carry. Facts. Colts didn't play the run great versus Vegas, 4.8 per allowed to Ashton Genty. Got ourselves a rubber match. Colts and Cardinals tied up at 9, 1984, the best show they've ever put on.
In Week 3, the Colts entertained St. Louis and got a glimpse of their future head coach, Cardinal offensive mastermind Rod Dowhauer. At the onset of the game, though, it was the Colt offense which looked rather masterful.
Mike pitches to Dickey coming to the near side. He looks upfield, wide open, Tracy Porter, he's got it! 40, 35, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! On the delay, this time the play action. He's going to throw it deep, a wobbler one. It is intercepted by the defensive back, Leonard Smith, and he runs it in for a touchdown. He simply took it away from Dave Young.
In an instant that seemed like an eternity, a field goal felled the Colts 34-33.
Green Bay Packers at home after a week off to rest hopefully allowed them to forget pulling a Princess Leia. Why can't it be called like kissing your brother, you know? They welcome the Cincinnati Bengals to Titletown, USA, who stumble in on a 3-game losing streak.
Goff looking for the end zone. It is caught!
Cincinnati trying to shed the Bungles moniker that tends to be heard in their dark times, and it's pretty dark for the Orange Cats. Their defense just gave up 37 more points, and now they have to try and quiet Green Bay's offense, their secondary next in line to try and conquer Love, which just isn't easy. Jordan 250 yards per game so far, 8 TDs against just 1 INT, a nice hefty 113 rate.
Love on the roll, the pump. Pressure comes, he finds his open man, and it's a touchdown.
In turn, Cincinnati battling an offense that's been good for 26 points a game, elite on third down and in the red zone.
From the pocket to the end zone, and Kraft has it.
Bengals defense has given up 27-plus points 4 games in a row, let Detroit go 5 for 6 in the red zone last week.
With blockers in front, Gibbs weaving through traffic. Inside the 5, touchdown Lions!
Love getting a secondary that gave up 4 TD passes with no picks, 3 TDs allowed to Jared Goff, over 250 yards, over 11 yards per attempt, a rate over 150. Nothing weird about any of that for them, unfortunately.
Up in the air and in for 6.
Bengals DBs let Amon-Ra St. Brown go for 100 yards, tight end Sam Laporta 92 yards and a TD. Jordan yet to really give too much love to any one given pass catcher, spreads his balls to anyone that's available. Tight end Tucker Kraft has seen the most targets, 56 yards per game, a couple of scores.
To the outside, wide open touchdown.
Rookie Matthew Golden, 31 yards per game so far. Dontavian Wicks, 28 per contest. Romeo Doubs, the top wideout, with 44 yards per game.
Love throwing end zone, touchdown! Romeo Doubs again!
Love has been dumped 8 times over 4 games. You know, kind of standard. Pressure rate faced a tad on the high side.
Got the ball knocked out! It is loose! Dallas has it!
Trey Hendrickson, his main concern on this front this week, picked up 2 of Cincinnati's 4 bags of Goff.
Goff, backside pressure, it's Hendrickson. The ball is out, scooped up underneath.
Bengals front also played the run well in their most recent loss. Had some trouble with Jahmyr Gibbs, but held Detroit to 3.6 a carry. Next up, running back Josh Jacobs, 30 receiving yards per game, to go along with 66 rush yards per game, has had to grind on handoffs, just 3.3 per trip, 4 scores though.
Jacobs walks it into the end zone.
If they could somehow keep Green Bay's offense in the semi-check range, then what? Jake Browning enters off a 3 TD shift, one that saw him throw 3 INTs too, has 2+ INTs in 3 of 4 games, 8 total now.
Browning to the sideline for Chase, and it's intercepted by Amik Robertson.
2 sacks taken on 40 pass attempts, did take 9 hits, but hey, contributed to a 24-point showing. At least they've been able to score 24+ 2 games in a row.
On the move, throwing for the end zone, looking for Chase. He pulls it in, touchdown!
Browning, of course, has to worry first and foremost about whether Rashawn Gary or Micah Parsons are getting close. Gary with 4.5 sacks, Parsons 2.5, Devontae Wyatt 2, that trio accounting for 9 of their 11 sacks.
Can take off, which he tries to do here, but can't.
Packs defense, big picture, great until week 4, so just a matter of proving that giving up 40 to Dallas was a fluke, and that holding teams under 19 the first 3 weeks is what they're really about.
And the Parsons gets in there.
The secondary Browning is up against, even after making Dak look like Roger Staubach, a sub-90 rate, holding quarterbacks to a piddly 5.6 yards per attempt, only giving up 8.3 yards per catch, both found on the top shelf. Cornerback Keyshawn Nixon leading the way with 7 passes defensed, holding his targets to a nice low 76 rate.
Picked up for Pickens, end zone, trying to make another.
Now they get in the cage with Jamar Chase, the one real reason the Bengals can still be dangerous on offense, scored twice last week, 110 yards.
Drops it in! Jamar Chase will walk in for his 2nd touchdown of the day!
Andre Yoshivas showed up too, 82 yards. yards, a season high. No one else with 23 yards in their loss to Detroit.
Good find in traffic. Josivas making some moves.
How about they load up on the run? Hit at 5.3 a carry versus the Lions.
Browning scoots down at the 3.
Browning led the way with 31 yards, so that tells you everything you need to know about that rush attack. Few guys have had much success toking the rock on Green Bay, holding teams to 3.6 a carry, a meager 77 per game.
Walker sprints there and gets him.
Got a tiebreaker on our hands. Packers-Bengals 7-7 all time. Green Bay needed OT to win the last 2 meetings. Almost needed it the first time they clashed in 1971, too.
The Bengal offense was again sluggish, and the Pack jumped to a quick 10-0 lead. It was up to the Bengal defense to get Cincinnati back in the game, and number 20, Lamar Parrish, led the charge with a 65-yard interception. But the game against the Packers was a costly one. Not only did they lose the game, they lost their quarterback, and the burden now fell on the inexperienced shoulders of rookie Ken Anderson, number 14. The rookie was up to the test. Anderson led the Bengals on a 69-yard scoring drive that was climaxed by a touchdown pass to Eric Crabtree to put the Bengals within 3 points, but they would get no further and lost 20-17.
LA heads east this week, hoping they don't have to face any more stunt doubles.
On the ground, does he make it? It doesn't look like it did. The 49ers think they have stopped him short.
Maybe the Rams' loss to San Francisco provides hope to Baltimore, though. Ravens' lineup last week consisted of lots of fake Eric and Laurie Foremans. It went as well as that last season of that show went.
Rush, pump. Rush spins out of trouble. Tries to spin again, and he's sacked.
Might have been worse, actually. There is no bigger shock in 2025 than Baltimore sitting on a 1-4 record. Whether they can dig out of that hole depends on if they get Lamar Jackson back first and foremost. If they don't, it's more rush, which at times is cool but can be hard to take for long stretches. The Cooper-led Ravens offense only able to muster 10 meaningless points, no TD passes for Rush, 3 INTs. Red would have put his foot somewhere.
Rush. Deep ball, well played by Lassiter.
Whoever goes at QB for Baltimore gets a Rams secondary trying to show better than Glass Joe. Gave up over 340 yards to Little Mac, 2 touchdowns, a rate over 100 to Jones, allowed 26 points to a Niners offense missing all but one of its starting playmakers.
Short drop over the middle, wide open, touchdown. What an opening drive.
LA's DBs gave up over 80 yards and a touchdown to CMC, over 40 and a TD to tight end Jake Tonjes, 142 to Kendrick Bourne. That's good news for Zay Flowers, maybe, who led Baltimore with 72 yards in that debacle, 70-plus yards in 4 of his 5 games.
Zay Flowers turns around, gets up, and gets away.
D-Hop, the only other Raven with more than 30 yards last week, finished with 46.
It's complete. DeAndre Hopkins, the former Texan.
Mark Andrews, 22 yards. Rashad Bateman, 3 targets, no catches. Rush wasn't all that rushed either. Only 1 sack taken by Houston's beefy QB hunting duo. 20 pass attempts. Here comes another stacked front. Jared Verse did everything in his power to win that game single-handedly. Rams may have only had 1 sack, but they hit Mac 10 times. Someone was hitting the AB buttons frantically, and he kept getting back up. But Verse hit him 5 times alone? You don't see one dude land 5 punches in a game very often.
Verse in back-to-back plays making his presence felt.
So why not just feed him a big helping of the king? Derrick Henry scored last week, but 33 yards, 2.2 a run. He wasn't relevant by halftime. Has finished with less than 51 yards 4 straight games now.
And Henry, once again, could not get a running start. They got him down low.
LA's play versus running backs. They do hit week 6 off a good game versus McCaffrey, though. Held him to 2.6 an attempt.
And McCaffrey's going to get knocked down and stuffed in the backfield by Nate Landman.
Ravens defense also hoping JD and Turk clear some of their guys for this one. Roquan, Marlon Humphrey, Kyle Hamilton, A-plus level trio all missed last week. Gave up 44 points at home to Houston. No team allowing more points per game than Baltimore this year.
Chubb could go all the way and does.
Ravens secondary hits week 6 shaken. Without those two starters we mentioned, gave up over 240 yards to CJ Stroud, 9 yards per attempt, 4 touchdowns, no picks, a rate allowed over 140, only 3 teams giving up a higher rate in 2025.
End zone! Touchdown! Texans!
Now they have to try and slow the Puka Devontae Stafford show. Matthews still on fire despite their recent loss. 380 plus yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, a 111 rate, triple-digit rate in every game but one so far.
Spins away, going deep downfield, and it's Atwell who makes the catch.
Gets easier for him if Baltimore can't hurry him up. Caught Stroud a couple times in that blowout loss, didn't affect anything. Stafford only 1 sack taken on a whopping 47 pass attempts, only got hit twice. Has left 3 of their 4 games with just 1 sack taken.
Stafford, he turns around, makes the grab, does Terrence Ferguson.
Makes it a lot easier to find Adams and Nakua when he's just standing around. 85 or more yards every time we've seen Puka. 85 last week is low. He scored again.
Quick pass into a lot of traffic. Nakua for the touchdown.
Adams, 88 yards versus San Francisco, kept getting praise for making it easier on other guys to eat during the broadcast. Fantasy owners were like, so how many decoy points do I get from him then? Is that a thing?
Slings it, caught by Adams. 1st and goal.
And look out for Tutu Atwell back-to-back weeks with some big splash play catches, 72-plus yards back-to-back games.
Deep downfield, reaching up for it and hauling it is Tutu Atwell.
And Kyron Williams, 8 catches, 66 yards, 2 TDs in the passing game.
Dancing and prancing into the end zone goes Kyron Williams for a touchdown.
Plus 65 rush yards on 4.6 per run, has now hit at that or better in his last 3 games.
Kyron Williams, lots of space, 1st down, a lot more.
Just has to put 2 of his week 1 runs behind him.
And the call is a fumble in San Francisco ball.
He too is lined up to eat though. Ravens gave up over 160 on the ground to the Texans on over 5 a carry, 5.5 a run allowed to Nick Chubb and a touchdown.
Chubb could go all the way and does.
Ravens and Rams have faced each other same number of times that Ferris ditched class. Ravens up 6-3, have won 5 of the last 6, and took the very first meeting in dramatic fashion back in 1996. 9 times? 9 times.
Bam Morris barreled into the end zone a 2nd time to set up one of the most exciting finales of the season.
Touchdown, Bam Morris!
A missed opportunity to win in regulation would lead to Vinny Testaverde's moment of truth in overtime.
Vinny back to throw. In the pocket, steps up, throwing in the end zone for Jackson. He's got it! Yes! Ravens win! Michael Jackson, as Vinny Testaverde throws his 3rd touchdown of the game in a wild, wild football game, and the Ravens win it 37-31.
This is a fork-in-the-road game. The Miami Dolphins pretty much in do-or-die mode after losing late to Carolina last week. Only 3 1-5 teams since 1990 have rebounded to make the playoffs.
I guess Mike McDaniel's seen enough.
They try and keep hope alive with the LA Chargers hobbling in on a 2-game losing skid.
Chargers have had their mistakes today. There's no question about it.
Somebody's going to feel better when this one is over, and it wasn't that Miami's offense faltered without the cheetah. Tua Tagovailoa enters with some swag after throwing 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, put up over 250 yards, a 120-plus rate, a 114-plus rate in 3 of his last 4, 2-plus TDs in 4 straight games.
Perfect touchdown strike by Tua.
Miami's offense, a respectable 24 points versus Carolina, 21-plus points in their last 4.
Is it caught in bounds? It is!
Tua and company get a semi-rattled Chargers defense, too. Gave up 27 points to Washington, who went 3 for 5 against them in the red zone. Their own offense didn't help matters, but that was the first game they've allowed more than 21.
That's the exclamation point!
Tua looking at a secondary that just gave up over 230 yards to Jaden Daniels on close to 9 yards per attempt. A touchdown didn't pick him off, 100 rate.
I think Jaden Daniels has enjoyed his homecoming.
Again, didn't fit the body of work. Team is 3rd in rating allowed even after last week. They didn't get much help from their pass rush. Was good for 13 sacks through 4 weeks. Only tracked Daniels down once. Only hit him once. Tuli Tuipulotu went from a 4-sack game to not recording a single tackle.
Pressure. Daniels just slips away. Look at this.
Tagovailoa dropped 3 times by a Panthers pass rush that showed up to that game with 2 bags for the year. Hadn't been sacked at all the previous 2 games.
Down goes Tagovailoa!
Chargers DBs got burned by Luke McCaffrey for a 50-yarder. Only other guy they had trouble with, Debo, didn't have a brick handy, so he went for 96 yards and a score against them. 2 Finns pass catchers with more than 30 yards in their most recent loss. Jalen waddled again. He's painted it aqua 3 of their last 4 games. 110 yards, first 70-plus yard game of the year.
Touchdown! Well, that was easy.
And the rebirth of Darren Waller continues. 78 yards and a TD. He scored in both games he's played.
Got his man! Touchdown, Waller!
Devon Achane also scored through the air, 30 receiving yards.
Wow, what a catch!
Only 1.6 yards per carry, though, just 16 yards on handoffs. But maybe he can get it going versus LA's front, being they gave up 111 yards to Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt on a Jabba-the-Hutt fat 7.9 yards per carry. He scored on them twice.
You just don't design defenses to hand the ball off to the back, run to the perimeter, and be untouched. Someone's got to set the edge.
So Chargers defense needs a slight recharge. Their offense needs a full-on jump start. 10-point outage last week. Gave the ball away twice, only made it to the red zone twice. Didn't score after the first quarter. That's less than 19 points. Back-to-back weeks, under 21 in 3 of their last 4.
Intercepted at the goal line!
It's most definitely an O-line problem, as in they can't keep any of their starting hogs healthy. Justin Herbert spent last week on the run or with his face buried in the turf. He took 4 sacks, the team took 5.
Guys running unblocked to the quarterback just tells me this offensive line is not on the same page.
Miami's pass rush might be able to do something with that. Dropped Bryce Young 3 times in their loss. Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb with 1 each.
Down he goes!
Those sacks didn't keep Carolina's offense that was averaging less than 20 a game before that game from putting up 27 points on them. Let Young drive down for a game-winning late fourth quarter drive. Gave up 5 red zone trips. Figure 1 a quarter isn't great to begin with. Giving up 29 points a game now, that ain't great either.
And the Panthers take the lead!
Their secondary gave up 2 TDs to Young, under 200 yards allowed, only 6.6 yards per attempt, and they did pick him off, held him to a 90 rate, but couldn't come up with a stop when it mattered, and are dead last in rating allowed for the year.
Wow, what a throw by Bryce Young out of the pocket.
If Herbert has time to work with, he could rebound then, if. Without it, less than 170 yards passing, 1 INT, only 1 TD, under 6 yards per attempt, a sub-90 rate, has thrown an INT 3 straight games, sub-90 rate 3 in a row, under 6.5 yards per attempt 3 straight. You get it, he's mired in a 3-game slump.
Justin Herbert is getting killed behind the line of scrimmage.
Dolphins corners get the LA trio in this one. They gave up 73 yards to Carolina's Tatora McMillan, only pass catcher they gave up more than 30 yards to. to. Now it's Ladd McConkey, the guy who pulled in the 1 TD, only 39 yards, less than 50 yards, 4 straight now. Quentin Johnston finally cooled off, lost a fumble, only 40 yards, first game under 70 yards for him this year. Keenan Allen led them last week with 58 yards, 58 to 68 yards, 4 of his 5 games.
Allen to midfield. He's got a first down into Commanders territory.
Even the Chargers' run game is beat up. Herbert led them in rushing off a 41-yard scamper. Omarion Hampton also left hurt last week, though. Didn't muster much before leaving, and now he's on IR. Whoever starts, we'd like to introduce him to the first defense to give up 200 rushing yards to one guy in 2025. Miami letting Rico Dowdle go for 2 bills and change in their loss.
Oh, Dowdle!
And LA needs to keep too short from reffing their games. 10 flags last week for 85 yards after having the whistle blown on them 14 times the week before. If you can't hang with the big dogs, stay on the porch.
And now let's see if this is going to come back, and it will again. Oh my goodness.
Finns up 20-17 against the Bolts. 1981, the game that no one should have lost. One of the greatest playoff games ever, maybe the most underrated.
On a hot, muggy day in Miami's Orange Bowl, the Chargers and Dolphins prepared for the first round of the playoffs. In the first quarter alone, San Diego scored 24 points, allowed none, and looked invincible. But this was to be a game unlike any other. The Chargers' big lead soon began to shrink, thanks to the arm of Dolphin quarterback Don Strock and a schoolyard play that helped Miami pull even in the third quarter. The Chargers reclaimed the lead on a touchdown pass to Winslow, but the Dolphins replied with 2 unanswered scores of their own.
Dolphins running off the clock. The Chargers have to force a turnover. Strock hands off to the first man, and Gary Big Hands Johnson. The ball's on the ground. Chargers have recovered. So San Diego has one more shot from their own 18.
The Chargers had lost the lead, but they did not lose heart. With a game on the line, San Diego fought back.
Win or lose, you've got to admire the tenacity of this Charger ball club. Bounce back to throw, looking, cocks his arm, stops, throws it toward the end zone, touchdown San Diego! Catching it was James Cook.
The score now stood 38-38, but Miami still had a chance to win in regulation with a field goal.
4 seconds, it's win it or go to a tie. The snap high, it's down, he kicked it, it is short. The Chargers block it.
Finally, they were close enough to try for the winning field goal.
Paderska's ready. It's a 27-yarder. The snap, it's down, he hits it, it's up. It's no good.
Incredibly, Bernershka missed. But when the Dolphins got another try themselves, Leroy Jones and the Chargers turned them back again. This was no longer a game. It had become a surrealistic experience with the plot twists and compelling characters of great drama. But now the Chargers were mounting the final act, and this time they would win.
Luther to hold. The snap. It is down. It is up. It is good.
Primo Sunday night football game. Don't listen to the guy in the Tampa Bay San Francisco preview. Kansas City Chiefs hoping their fans can help them get back to 500. Won't be easy to do though. Detroit Lions are in town on a 4-game win streak and might be the best team on the NFL map.
Swing it out to Gibbs with blockers in front. Gibbs weaving through traffic. Inside the 5. Fights his way to the goal line. Touchdown! Jahmyr Gibbs! Touchdown Lions!
So if Kansas City's defense gave up 24 points to Jacksonville, how many will they give up to the #1 offense in football, Lions averaging 35 a game after kind of sleepwalking to 37 versus Cincinnati last week, 5 for 6 in the red zone? They were trying those plays on Madden that never work.
He'll throw, end zone touchdown! As Montgomery airing it out for 6.
Jared Goff can't help but complete passes, leads the NFL in completion percentage after going 19 for 23 week 5, 3 touchdowns, no picks, over 250 yards, cracked 150 on the rate scale, has more passing TDs than anyone in the land.
Goff looking for the end zone. It is caught. Isaac to Slaw with the touchdown.
The Kansas City D he faces, as mentioned, just gave up 24 points, let Jacksonville go 3 for 4 in the red zone, 5 for 9 on third down, couldn't stop them in the clutch when everything was on the line.
Now Lawrence goes down, has to get up, breaks a tackle, touchdown Jacksonville!
Secondary Goff gets. Didn't get torched by Trevor Lawrence. Didn't lock him down either. They picked him off on a pass he gave to him. Gave up over 8 yards per attempt, a mid-90s rate. Let him hit big down the stretch. Had played quarterbacks better prior, but not great last Monday.
And Hunter makes the catch!
Wasn't that Kansas City's pass rush didn't make it home. Sacked Lawrence 3 times.
And now time runs out. Not able to find anywhere to go with a football, and Omenahu is in there.
Without left tackle Taylor Decker, Goff was taken down 4 times.
Goff, backside pressure, down he goes! Trey Hendrickson there for the 2nd time today.
I mean, didn't seem to matter much, but hey. Kansas City's DBs had issues with Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. They're good, but not Amon-Ra's. St. Brown, 100 yards on the nose versus Cincinnati. He's gone for 70-plus 4 straight.
And Amon-Ra St. Brown on the run. And a crowd quieter.
They took a break from the Jameson shots, just 9 yards. It's good to cleanse here and there. But Goff found Sam Laporta for 92 yards and a TD, Laporta's best game thus far.
Laporta with his 5th catch of the afternoon and a big gain for the tight end into Bengals territory and out of bounds.
He hit Jahmyr Gibbs for a touchdown, 33 air yards. He added 54 ground yards on 4.5 a carry.
It's Jahmyr Gibbs, little jump start as he hops his way down to the 5.
His partner, David Montgomery, scored along with 65 yards.
Here's Montgomery again. Jump cut to the outside. Montgomery into the end zone with the record tire.
Chiefs play against the run last week, 4.1 per carry to Travis Etienne. They had more trouble containing Lawrence, who ran for 54 yards and 2 rushing TDs.
Wants to go. Touchdown Jaguars.
They've been a big part of the offense.
Are we in for a shootout? Kansas City's offense good for 28-plus points back-to-back weeks. Been a while since I've said that.
Here is Hunt. Touchdown!
28 versus Jacksonville. Could have been 35 if Patrick Mahomes doesn't throw a bad pick in the end zone that gets taken back 99 yards for the score. Still, he did throw for over 300 yards in their loss, so 270 plus back-to-back weeks.
Spins around and is well protected. And now throws wide open as Thornton.
Which brings us to the Detroit defense he faces. This is kind of glass half empty or glass half full stuff. They gave up 24 points to a Jake Browning-led offense. They gave up 3 touchdowns to him.
It's open down the sideline, drops it in! Jamar Chase will walk in!
They also picked off Browning 3 times, held Cincinnati to 4 for 11 on third down. Most of the damage they suffered was after the game was kind of out of hand.
With protection this time, and it's intercepted by Anzalone!
They gave up 80-plus yards to 2 different receivers, 2 touchdowns and over 100 yards to Jamar Chase. Again, if a tree falls in a forest and no one hears it, did it make a sound? Does it matter? Speaking of trees, they have to try and chop down a redwood, I guess? Travis Kelce with a touchdown, 61 yards in their loss.
He's got his man. That's Kelce. Touchdown.
Tyquan Thornton led the way last week with 90 yards.
Time runs out, and now the flip. And wide open with a catch is Thornton.
Hollywood Brown contributed 48.
Here's a spinning catch by Hollywood Brown. Broke 2 tackles. Gets a first down.
And Xavier Worthy 42.
Juggle and a catch by Worthy.
Mahomes threw 41 times, didn't get dropped once. Now he has to dodge Aiden Hutchinson, who's trying to make it 5 straight games with a sack after nabbing one of the 2 Detroit bags last week.
It's a strip sack by Aiden Hutchinson, recovered by Cincinnati.
If they don't get to him, beware of him taking off. He led them in rush yards again in that loss with 60. Isaiah Pacheco was good for 5.1 a run on his 7 carries. Kareem Hunt hit at 7 per on his 7 attempts, scored twice.
Hunt in for the touchdown.
Best rush showing they've had all year. Lions gave up 85 rush yards to Cincinnati, did give up over 5 a run, just was barely noticeable. And Chiefs have to remember this is tackle football. No need to push the whole flag football movement in the middle of games. 13 penalties for 109 yards last week. So much for the whole refs are on their side theory.
Kansas City called back-to-back timeouts, and by rule you cannot do that. It's a 5-yard penalty. It'll still be first down.
Kansas City has a 9-6 lead on Detroit all time. This has been the week of revisiting offensive ineptitude, so let's hit their 1988 game. Okay, fine, call it a defensive slugfest if that sounds better.
Williams equaled his personal best in sacks and is a positive force against the run. Joining Williams in passing situations is veteran Curtis Green, number 62. But the backbone of this improving unit is Keith Ferguson, number 77. The Lions' active leader in career sacks, Ferguson added 8.5 more in 1988 as the Lions face the changes and challenges of 1989.
Atlanta Falcons at home week 6, fresh off their mid-year week off. They welcome the Buffalo Bills, who went ahead and got that first loss of the year out of the way.
No time left on the clock, and the last of the unbeatens has fallen in the NFL.
And with that, the 72 Dolphins are once again safe to gloat. Buffalo, for the first time, enters a contest having to rebound. Their offense never walking out without 30-plus points prior. Then last week, they departed with just 20. Have to cut back on the giveaways to get things rolling again. Gave it up 3 times in their loss.
Oh, mishandled there, and that's Patriots ball.
Josh Allen tagged for the fumble on the botched handoff, threw a pick, but doesn't roll in totally cold. Couple of touchdowns, over 250 yards, over 8 yards per attempt, a rate over 100.
Here's Allen. Here's Samuel. There's a touchdown.
Bill's offense isn't taking on Luda's Falcons defenses, though. I don't think the ones he rooted for in the past were great, but aside from fantasizing from kicking it on the 50-yard line, he also dreamed of a D that was first in yards per game allowed, forcing plenty of punts, holding teams to a solid 21 a game, and one that had only let 6 drives in 4 games reach the 20-yard line.
Mariota in trouble and can't get out of it, stumbles down.
Secondary Allen will be looking at, holding quarterbacks to a nice low 78 rate, 135 yards per game, holding passers to a lowly 5.8 yards per attempt, one of the hardest groups to complete passes on.
Deep shot, Mariota! Over the shoulder, interception!
Atlanta's DBs get in the cage with Keon Coleman, scored last week, 23 yards, a fumble lost too. Curtis Samuel, a TD, only 26 yards. Joshua Palmer, 36. Khalil Shakir with 45 was the target leader with 9.
Shakir to the 27-yard line.
Yards leader, tight end Dalton Kincaid, first 100-yard game of the year.
And it's complete. Kincaid again.
Allen only took 1 sack, 31 pass attempts. Will Atlanta send the house after Allen as often as they have so far? No team with a higher blitz rate after 4 games, healthy pressure rate, and 10 sacks. Feels like they have more in 4 games than they had all last year.
Young, pocket collapsing, and he's brought down!
Stopping runners has been somewhat of a soft spot. 4.3 a carry allowed to backs, and more worrisome with Allen, have given up over 6 a run to quarterbacks.
Mariano, he's got room and a first down.
They get James Cook off his first dud since week 1, was on a nice 3-game run, only 49 yards last week, just 3.3 per carry. Allen led Buffalo in rushing versus New England with 53 yards.
Getting away to the 32-yard line.
Speaking of run games, Buffalo's defense has been studying plenty of Bijan Robinson film this week. Dude doesn't just lead the team in rushing yards per game, he leads them in receiving yards per game too. 4.5 catches per game, 67 air yards per venture.
Still going inside the 10, touchdown!
He's the centerpiece, just needs his quarterback to play close to his level, which Michael Penix did last time we saw him. If Buffalo's secondary gets more week 4 Penix, they'll be pressed. If they get week 2 and 3 Penix, it'll feel like a night off. Under 175 yards in those 2 outings, under 6.5 yards per attempt, sub 81 rate in each. Then a 126 rate game week 4, over 300 yards, a fat 12 yards per attempt, and 2 TDs.
Second and goal. Penix, end zone, touchdown!
That kind of play led to a 34-point day. Week prior, it was a Krispy Kreme special, so their season digits aren't great, but that week 4 win showed what could be.
Algier is trying to slice, and he does! Oh, he's dishing out punishment! Algier, touchdown!
Buffalo's defense played the run fine in their loss to New England, held them to 3.2 a carry, only 71 yards. It was the Drake May, Stephon Diggs show they couldn't handle, giving up 270-plus yards to May, a 101 rate, over 9 yards per attempt, made him look like Josh Allen at times.
Throwing towards Diggs, who broke free, and he's got it at the 5.
23 points allowed, that's, 23 points allowed. But 3 for 9 on third down is good stuff, as is a 4-bag QB shopping trip, healthy 8 QB hits.
May taking off here, he is tied up and brought down.
Maybe try and meet the quarterback a little further in the backfield, 6 yards lost on 4 sacks. Getting to Penix in the backfield hasn't been easy, only 5 sacks taken. Pressure rate faced not super high either.
Penix will step up and hit as he throws.
Aside from worrying about Bijan out of the backfield, Buffalo's DBs have Drake London on their hands. Bills gave up 43 yards to Kayshon Boutte, 146 to Diggs. I guess they're all still friends. London leads the team in targets, 67 yards per game, hoping the Bills are just anti-Kung Fu Kennys and they just don't know how to handle Drakes.
Caught by London!
Darnell Mooney, hoping the time off allowed him to heal up. Injuries have limited his production to less than 100 yards in 4 games. Ray McLeod also with fewer than 100, but tight end isn't the Pitts anymore for Atlanta. I mean, it is, but Kyle with a solid 50 yards per game, 5 catches a game, second most looks on the team.
Penix lets it fly, wide open downfield, makes the connection with Pitts.
When they run, as mentioned, Robinson, the leader guy, breaking ankles to the tune of 4.9 a carry so far, 78 yards per game on the ground.
Bijan with the mustard, touchdown!
His mate, Tyler Algier, 8 rushing yards per game, a couple of scores.
Algier walks into the end zone.
Atlanta leads Buffalo 7-6 all-time. These two part of NFL lore as they took part in one of the most prolific games anyone has ever witnessed, 1977. Sit back and soak it all in.
Game 5, when Buffalo beat the league's best defense at its own game. The Atlanta Falcons established an NFL record for surrendering the fewest points in modern history. On an October Sunday in Orchard Park, the Bills did them one better. Buffalo made a lone field goal stand up for an emotional victory.
It's just another manic Monday night football game. It's a chance for revenge or redemption for the Chicago Bears, who hit Week 6 off a bye week. They are off to face the Washington Heartbreakers, as they're known in the Windy City. The Commanders overjoyed to have Jaden Daniels back. Daniels' return was indeed triumphant.
Now some pressure, he's in trouble, slips away. There he's gonna run.
HTTR faithful breathed a huge sigh of relief last week. Everything almost felt right again. Daniels, 231 yards, a touchdown, no picks, 100 rate versus a tough Chargers defense. His first game back after a couple of weeks off hurt.
Daniels, pressure coming, throws on the run. He's got Debo. Daniels starting to heat up.
So can Daniels build off that against Chicago's secondary? It's a group on the upswing. Their numbers after 4 games aren't good, but that's in large part because they let Jared Goff go crazy town against them in Week 2. Against Dak Prescott and Geno Smith in the aftermath, 5 INTs, held each guy under an 81 rate.
Over the middle, and that's picked. His second INT of the half.
Their play against the pass hasn't kept teams from moving the ball against them with relative ease, though. Washington's O, stacked against a D that's given up 29 points per game, haven't been good in the red zone.
He's got Genty in the flat, catches it at the 5, makes the turn, touchdown Raiders!
Odd how Chicago is first on third down, though. Washington's offense, on the other hand, grooves into this one after hanging 27 points on one of the tougher defenses in the league. They could work on extending drives a few more times, but 3 for 5 in the red zone, and even with Marcus Mariota at the controls, Bears looking at an offense that's clicked for 27 plus points 3 straight games.
Loads one up towards the end zone to Debo, touchdown Washington!
11 of Daniels' 23 pass attempts last week went to Debo Samuel. Have to wait to see if Terry McLaurin makes it back this week. Seems like a possibility. Samuel hauled in Daniels' TD pass along with 96 yards. He rides in on his squeaky bike off back-to-back 70-plus yard games.
Floating one for the corner. He's got it! That's the exclamation point!
No one else saw 3 targets versus the Chargers. Daniels, meantime, only took 1 sack last week, was only hit once, had all day to find Luke McCaffrey on that 50-yard strike.
Let's one fly, going deep. Oh! He's got it!
Daniels' line duking it out with the Bears defense that needs to listen to some more Tom Sawyer. They need some rush in their lives after only managing 5 sacks in their first 4 games, one of the lowest pressure rates in the league.
Geno Smith, boy, magic trick to keep that play alive. He fades the sack.
Washington's rush attack seems primed to do a little something. Bears last versus running backs, giving up 6.1 a carry to the position, and they're no better stopping quarterbacks, who they've let average 8.9 a run.
Stutter steps in for 5, touchdown!
Now they try and slow Daniels and Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt off a career-best romp through the park. 111 on the ground, 7.9 yards per carry, 2 TDs, 6.7 plus yards per carry, back-to-back games.
Krosky-Merritt streaks to the outside. He's in again.
Bears offense might need to keep up on the scoreboard then, and they've shown signs they can do that. Caleb Williams is on track to break the 30-touchdown Chicago curse. 8 TDs so far, only 2 picks, over 230 yards per game, rate near 100.
A flea flicker back to Williams, and he's going deep, and he's got a man behind everybody.
He's coming through on third down on the regular, too. Bears offense averaging a nice 25 points per game.
Williams got Greengrass, 10-5. Dive for the end zone!
But how about a Washington defense that just held LA to 10 points? Shut them out after the first quarter, too. Only gave up 2 trips into the red zone, took the ball away twice.
Slings it, it's caught by Johnson, and now the ball is loose. Washington recovers.
They had given up 24 or more the previous 3 games, but they got great play from their secondary. They would love to see it carry over. Held Justin Herbert to 166 yards, just 5.7 yards per attempt, a sub-90 rate, picked him off.
Throw in tip, intercepted at the goal line!
Again, their play versus Herbert and company better than the body of work they had built up to that point. But if they could replicate what they did up front again, what happened in back could happen again too. Sacked Herbert 4 times as part of a 5-sack day, 9 QB hits, Dorrance Armstrong off to a great start, 2 more sacks to bring his total to 5.
Pressured, trying to run away from Dorrance Armstrong, throws on the run, and I think he was down.
They did take advantage of a beat-up Chargers O-line, and getting to Caleb not as easy as it used to be. Only 7 taken so far, a nice low 30% pressure rate faced. He's about to officially be freed from the dispensary biz now that his face ain't in the grass every drive.
Here they come again. Williams protected. Back to the air. This will be a first down.
Rome Odunze, priority number 1 for Washington's DBs, has evolved into Williams' go-to, led them in targets, leads them in yards, 74 per game, leads them in TDs with 5.
Throw over the middle of Odunze, 5, end zone, touchdown! Touchdown Bears!
Olamide Zaccheaus, 29 yards per game, playing his teammates from last year. DJ Moore, 43 per contest, not really happy about it, so we'll see if they worked on more plays to get him more involved.
DJ Moore, touchdown!
Options at tight end, Cole Kmet, 29 yards per game, Colston Loveland, 14 yards per game. He's dealt with some injuries, but still, he's a top 10 pick, and Tyler Warren's production doesn't help the look. DeAndre Swift has kicked in 21 receiving yards per game, 46 on the ground, hoping for more than 3.3 per carry going forward, though.
And the give, Swift sprinting left. He's got it for the touchdown!
Commanders have been one of the hardest defenses on backs, holding them to 3.4 a run, held O'Marion Hampton to 3.7 before he left hurt.
And he gets stacked up right away. Nowhere to run against this pretty physical defensive line.
Bears Commanders. I feel like they played last year. Maybe it's fuzzy because it was a boring 18-15 Commanders win.
It is bubble up and it's gone! Noah Brown got it! It's mayhem in Washington!
Okay, to balance that out, let's go back further for some warm and fuzzy Chicago memories, say the 1984 playoffs.
Washington had never lost a playoff game at home. However, the 1984 Chicago Bears had little regard for the Redskins' sense of history.
First down, and time, gonna run up the middle. Throws on the move, got his man deep, McKinnon, touchdown, Chicago Bears! One more time, baby, one more time! Heisman back to throw, they're out of time. Winds up, throws another high lob down the near right side, and it's intercepted by Mike Richardson. The game is over, and the Bears have upset the Washington Redskins.